Mr. Lukashenko, thank you for coming. Well, how could I not come? Well, we're all busy people, you know. I know your hands are full domestically. I watched your press conference yesterday. In fact, I agree with you on many of the things you say. But like we agreed before, we will continue discussions about our next meeting. And we'll also discuss the wide spectrum of all issues that concern us, including military partnership. But the foundation for all that is our economic ties. Like I said, our trade turnover is rising. It's reaching record levels, over $43 billion worth of goods. And one thing that I like to see is that we are expanding our opportunities for cooperation, including the industry. And over the past decade, I must say that, well, this is something that we have known since forever, but now our cooperation is becoming even greater thanks to your efforts and many of the things that remained from back in the Soviet times was conserved and preserved in Belarus, and so together we can uh, make use of this legacy, and together we have a synergy existing between Russia and Belarus, so we can work together in the industry. We can uh, join up our markets, and there are Russian businesses and Russian engineers and professionals and specialists who work with their Belarusian counterparts. And I believe that all of that will give a great and positive stimulus to the development of both of our countries, including as part of the Union State and the 28 programs that we've discussed for the development of the Union State. All of the details have been worked out by our colleagues. These actions, these developments create the foundation for our further development, especially in the economic area. So I'm really happy to see you, Mr. Lukashenko. I believe that in an environment that we enjoy today, in this working environment, we'll be able to cover all of the subjects that are of interest to us both. Yes, thank you, Mr. Putin, for inviting me to your home. This creates a certain atmosphere for trade and trade in terms of services, because you mentioned both goods and services. So last year, so like I said, it was about $50 billion, or 44, as you said, was the trade turnover. So $50 billion worth of goods and services, which was a pleasant surprise to me. What also surprised me is that Russian companies uh, uh, bought over $300 million worth of IT products from our IT specialists. We've been hearing about IT specialists moving from Russia to other countries, but we now see uh, that these IT industries are very connected, and so even in that respect, our adversaries weren't able to push and drive us apart because we're still together. Um, we are still moving forward with the import substitution efforts. So uh, several days ago, we spoke about defense obligations, and Belarus has honored all of its obligations in full. Facts in terms of uh, import substitution, in terms of microelectronics, we have been very much dependent on the imports before. In Sochi, we talked about that. We had a meeting on that, and we were able to preserve the microelectronics industry, like you said. We work with the Russian specialists, and we hear experts say all the time that everything will be completed uh, on time. In fact, maybe the devices will be a bit bigger, but everything will work perfectly. So in terms of import substitution, we're moving forward. I wouldn't say that we have resolved all of the problems we have, but we are moving forward. Also, our vehicles, the KAMAZ vehicles, we used to have a lot of red tape, but now there is no competition. And uh, in fact, we continue with producing all kinds of parts for our cars and vehicles, and we have the market, we have the consumers, we have the producers. Everything's working fine, and like you said, we are cooperating. Russia and Belarus are cooperating in the Eurasian Economic Union. You once spoke about cooperating as part cooperating between our air industries, and let me say that in Belarus we are producing over 1,000 parts involved in the production of uh, uh, Russian uh, jets. So, and as for MiG-25, is actually we're actually producing parts for that as well. It's showing some pretty good results on the front lines. Um, so we're deepening our partnership to overcome the barriers, uh, the artificial barriers created to divide us. I'm not even talking about basic industries or light industries, clothes and everything. We have always been fine with that. So yes, I think that we should work out further ways forward. Yes, like you said, the 28 programs of the Union state, yes, concerned with taxes, with customs, etc., etc. Yes, all the technical issues still remain, like creating the committee. Yes, we've actually already completed the creation of the committee yesterday. So certainly that all of the above will help create our economy, help make our economy even more productive.